What would you do if you married the love of your life only to have them treat you like a dirty little secret? On today's case, Mr. Urban says he fell hard and fast for the love of his life and married her with plans of raising a family together. Now he says his wife's emotional unavailability, multiple disappearances, and refusal to introduce him to her family have him believing that she is not truly committed to this marriage. He is tired of the secrets, and he is ready to reveal the divorce papers. Let's hear their case.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Starr presiding. Your Honor, this is the case of Urban versus Urban.
Thank you very much, Mr. Urban. Mrs. Urban. Mr. Urban, you are in my courtroom today seeking a divorce. You believe wholeheartedly that you're being used and manipulated by your wife.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mrs. Urban, you say your husband is letting his emotions get the best of him. You say you love him, and today you are on a mission to save this marriage.
Yes, Your Honor.
So let me see how this happened, because you all have not been together that long. You've known each other a year, but you've only been married 4 months. Why are we in court today, Mr. Urban?
My marriage is a disaster. My wife is emotionally unavailable, disrespectful, and I suspect she's cheating.
You heard what Mr. Urban says. Mrs. Urban, what do you say?
I think that he's overreacting. I came here to save my marriage. We only been married for 4 months, and we didn't even get a chance to bond or experience life together yet.
And I understand you all don't even live in the same state as of right now. Am I correct, Mr. Urban?
Correct.
So take me back to how you met and then what got us to this point where we're here in divorce court.
Okay, first I want to let you know that I am a trans man. So I post about my experience on social media.
So you were biologically born a woman.
Yes, correct.
And you were transitioning into the true male that you are now.
Correct.
Okay.
I guess she used to follow me, and then she slid into my DM, so we started texting from there. And then a few months after, we started talking on the phone. And then she came down to visit me in Miami, Florida, because she lives in Maryland.
I want to be very clear. Where did you get married?
In Miami, Florida.
And have you been to Maryland with her?
No, I never been. Like, in the beginning, she would, like, when I'm going through stuff, she would send me, like, sweet messages. She would, like, try to calm me down, show me that she cares about me. And lately, she haven't been doing that. It's like, when I go through stuff, she's not emotionally there. She doesn't send those sweet messages like she did in the beginning.
And you have to do that when you're in a long-distance relationship,
Yeah.
because you're not physically in the same place all the time.
Correct.
Mrs. Urban, help me to understand. Has anything changed in terms of how you feel about your husband?
The relationship changed like fast, like no intimacy because of him. Like when we first started dating and I was coming to Florida, we were like intimate all the time. It was fun, it was new, but it's like once we got married, now it's like no intimacy, no like caring for my husband.
Well, that's interesting. Mr. Urban, you say she's not there for you, but she says there's no intimacy. What's going on with your relationship?
I mean, she's correct. In the beginning, it was new. It was like my first time messing with a female, so everything was new. Like, you know, she taught me a lot of stuff, like, so I was just like, it was new.
But then you got married.
Yes.
And what happened to the intimacy?
I don't know what happened. I'm not really into intimacy, so I feel like that's the problem, too.
That's not
But
you?
she knew that at the beginning, so I don't know what's the problem now.
Yes, ma'am?
He wants, he keeps talking about because he still have his breasts and he want to get them taken off. He hides in the closet. He have insecurities about himself that I don't mind. So I feel like him with the problems with himself, like still having his breasts, still having things that's personally wrong with him, he's taking them out on me. So now, like, we have no intimacy, connection, or anything because he still have, like, his body parts.
Mr. Urban, if you are trying to be in a relationship with this woman, maybe you got into a marriage too soon as you are still trying to become the man that you want to be. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
I understand.
But then you've brought somebody else into the relationship.
Yes. I feel like she's just emotionally unavailable because, like, recently my mom passed.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thanks. when we found out we had to put her in hospice, I told my wife, and I felt like she wasn't asking me, am I okay? She just wasn't there for me.
Okay, Mrs. Urban, can you help us to understand what was missing in this during this time period?
So I have to disagree. When Ace's mom was placed into hospice, I asked him before, like, is he okay? I asked him every day, was he okay when his mom was in hospice? So I don't understand. I don't understand what he's talking about that I never asked.
You know what she said to me while I was going through what I was going through? She said, well, I've been with someone who lost both of their parents, and they didn't act like this. And I felt that was like, wow, like.
Well, whenever somebody loses a loved one, there is no rule book on how they're supposed to act. Your husband clearly reacted needing an emotional connection. You think you were there for him?
I was there for him. We talked every day. I would ask him what was going on. He gets his attitude. When he gets the attitude, he don't want to talk about what's going on. He don't want to tell you what's happening. So if I'm asking him, like, what's going on with your mom? And he be like, oh, nothing. We got it.
You never asked me that.
You're lying. You're lying, sir. You're lying. You're lying. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I'm just trying to figure out why there's such acrimony, and y'all just got married, and this should be an easy time for you to enjoy each other.
I feel like I'm in a secret marriage. Like, she always comes to Miami.
Right.
I've never been to Maryland. She's been to Miami like 10 times already. I tried to go. Like, I even booked the plane ticket. I paid like $300 and something, and when I told her I was coming, she's like, no, don't come. I'll come to Florida. And I have the proof.
Let me see this plane ticket. What's going on, Mrs. Urban?
He can come to Maryland. I told him that numerous of times he can come to Maryland.
That's a lie.
When he bought that plane ticket, me and the baby had already booked the plane ticket to come to there.
That's a lie.
You've brought a witness today, your sister, is that correct?
Correct.
My brother is miserable, and she's a con artist. I don't like her.
Over the course of the last year, we have had Thanksgivings and Christmas and New Year's and birthdays and Mother's Day. Why have you invited your husband to come to your home to meet your family?
I have invited him. He'll be like, it's too soon.
That's a lie.
It was too soon.
This can't be the truth, because Mr. Urban is here arguing that he's never met your family and that you don't want him to come to Maryland. So you can't tell me that you've been asking him to come to Maryland if this man is making this argument that he has not met your family in a year. I can tell you right now, if you don't meet my family in a year, I'm not in a relationship with you. You actually think that you're being used in this situation for money. Is that correct, Mr. Urban?
Yes.
Why do you say that? Because I know that when she comes to visit you, most of the financial responsibility is on you. Am I correct?
Yes, you're right. And I don't mind. Like, one time we went out, you know, I spent like $200 on food. Then we ended up going out again later that day. So I asked her, I said, can we go half? And then she looked at me funny, and then she just started saying stuff that made me feel bad about me asking her to go half.
Mrs. Urban, what is this about? Because honestly, it sounds like this is not a real marriage, to be honest with you. Almost like this young man has been set up to be in a marriage with somebody who doesn't want to be married.
It is a real marriage.
And she wouldn't even let me talk to a family member. Like, one day I heard a family member in the background, and this is what she does to me. Look, I have evidence.
Let me see the evidence.
So I was on FaceTime with my wife, and I heard one of her family members in the background. So I said, let me say hi to your family member. And she did like this. I'm like, what the heck is that?
So that's like a phone flip, like
Exactly.
here you go, boom.
I never met any of her family member physically. Like, I never met them.
Are your parents alive?
Yes.
You have a mother and a father?
I have a mother.
Why doesn't your mother know who your husband is?
Everybody knows Ace. Ace talks to my mom on FaceTime. He has my mother's number. She sends him pictures. She sends him videos. So I don't know why he's in this court lying.
Wait a minute, sir.
I don't know why he's lying in this court. Everybody knows him.
I want to know, because that's two different stories. Have you ever spoken to her mother? Why are you looking at her? I'm asking you the question.
Tell the truth.
Just look at me. Look at me.
I finally got the chance to speak to her
But
mother.
did you speak to her? Do you FaceTime her? Do you have her number?
Okay, I don't understand.
Finally got
I don't
the chance
understand
to
why. Is this some secret
speak to
thing
your
that y'all?
mother.
Are you trying to check with her what you should say? Because I'm talking to you. Look at me.
Okay, you're right. She keeps lying.
Okay, I'm asking you a question. How have you spoken to her mother?
Recently,
Have you spoken to any of her other family members?
not her family, not her friends. She won't to let me meet anyone.
Help me to understand why you haven't just got on a plane and flew to Maryland.
She got to be hiding something. I'm scared.
Scared
I don't
of
know.
what?
She probably have a secret boyfriend or something in there. I don't know.
But wouldn't you want to know?
You're right. I do want to know.
I'm still trying to figure out what kind of marriage this is. I need some insight into this. From what I understand, you've brought a witness today, your sister, is that correct?
Correct.
I'd like to have the witness come in.
Sure.
Thank you. Hi, will you please state your name and relationship to the plaintiff?
Kanika El Hassan. Ace is my brother.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Miss El Hassan, can you tell me about your brother's relationship with his wife?
My brother is miserable, and she's a con artist. I don't like her. She claims that she got the baby from a sperm bank, and now I just feel like she's just using my brother to raise the child.
Yes, I was a lesbian before I met him. I wasn't going to penetrate myself with a man. I haven't been with a man in years.
Got it. If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Missed a show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content. So, do you live in Florida also?
Yes, I reside with my brother.
So what have you observed?
I've observed that my brother makes the house more welcoming before she arrives, shower her with gifts, and sometimes my brother is like very vulnerable, and like my brother's left in a room alone for hours, and she's just out in the living room just scrolling on her phone, and I can sense there's tension, but she doesn't approach my brother asking what's wrong.
What else have you witnessed as it relates to the marriage?
I feel like she's using my brother.
What makes you say that specifically?
She has this child. The baby's super cute. I have nothing against the child. However, she claims that she got the baby from a sperm bank, which doesn't even make sense to me because she has like 3 other kids. And now I just feel like she's just using my brother to raise the child.
Mrs. Urban, how old is the baby?
He'll be 2 July the 7th.
And how old are the older children?
16, 13, and 10.
And so you were seeking to have another baby?
Okay, so a little insight on that. I don't even know why, but I have 2 biological. Is my oldest son and my baby.
Yes.
The 2 daughters whom are adopted and are my children.
Got it.
Now,
so you're helping to raise them. Okay.
Yes, now. And yes, I was a lesbian before I met him. So I went to the sperm bank to have my baby. I wasn't going to penetrate myself with a man. I haven't been with a man in years.
Got it.
So yes, I went to the Cairo bank and received my son.
But you're now with a man.
Right, correct.
How do you feel about being in an intimate relationship with a man?
I'm good with it. I'm great with it. Like, he wants to adopt my baby. We working on having a baby together.
Okay, but you just said you weren't going to, quote, penetrate yourself with a man. So
Right.
how are you going to do that?
We're going to the Cairo bank.
All right.
That was our plan.
Mr. Urban, is that what your plan is?
Yes, that's correct. I want to adopt the baby that she already have, and I want us to have a baby on our own also.
Ms. El Hassan, I cannot believe you think that this is a good idea.
I don't think it's a good idea. I feel like she's using my brother to raise another man's baby. I don't feel like it's a sperm bank situation. It sounds
I don't
sketchy.
know if it's a sperm bank situation or not. I just know that the last thing you need to do, Mr. Urban, is to adopt a child with a woman that you barely know.
She's a liar. She's a user.
marriage. I'm sorry?
She's a liar and she's a user. I feel like she's just a con artist.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I never see her.
I don't even know you.
reciprocate
I
energy.
don't even know you.
Exactly.
I
I don't
seen you
speak
once
to
or
you.
twice there.
Well, Mrs. Urban, what makes you say she's not there and you don't know her?
She's not there. I seen her once or twice. I don't know her. We never even had a conversation, so she's lying.
She's a hater. She
She's a
sees
liar.
me. She
She's
just doesn't speak
she's a
to
hater.
me.
Mr. Urban, you are in a proverbial trick bag right now. You
I
do
see.
realize that? You are. You're a vulnerable young man who is transitioning into a new place in your heart, mind, body, and spirit. You need a minute to know who you are. Have you sought out talking to a therapist throughout your transition?
Yes, I have fun, even before my transition.
And
don't
has the
work.
therapist talked you through this marriage situation?
My therapist, she's like, well, we need to go to couples counseling and try to work through it. And she did think I got married a little bit too quick,
How about very much too quick?
very much.
Okay, because Mr. Urban, you don't know now Mrs. Urban, you don't know her. You don't know enough about her. You don't know her family. You don't
Correct.
know anything about these children. Don't you think you need to know that?
I do.
We were fine until the sister came along. Like,
No,
we
you were not fine.
We
I
were.
can tell you that right
we were
now.
Good.
Because Mr. Urban brought a case to divorce court where he says he questions whether or not you are being truthful to him. He doesn't believe that this is a true marriage in your heart. He brought this case into divorce court, and I have to tell you, everything that I've heard today seems to be sketchy. That's just me. Mr. Urban, you clearly are not happy, are you?
Nah, no.
My brother's miserable.
And I still don't understand why you can't chat with me. You look to her like she is your mother, and you need her permission to talk about this situation. What is that about?
Her being disrespectful, I'm scared that she's gonna be disrespectful.
Wait, excuse me. This is my courtroom. How disrespectful can she be?
You're correct. You're right.
Honestly, if I had my druthers, I would say to your sister that she needs to go and make you a ward of hers until you get yourself together, because I don't trust your
We do
judgment.
not need no divorce. We are fine. The sister need to stay out of our business and stay out.
And
Stay
I
out
get
of
the
it.
feeling Ms. Urban don't want a divorce because, ka-ching, the moment you adopt that child, that guarantees child support.
You're right.
are moving
and I feel
together.
like that's what she wants.
May I have those papers, please? Robert, retrieve the papers. This is gonna be up to you, Mr. Urban, okay? But I'm about to be crude right now. You wanna be a man, right? You are a man. Say that to me. Say, Judge, I am a man.
Judge, I am a man.
Gross right now. It's time for you to be a man. Be a man. Be a man and say, you will not take advantage of me.
You will not take advantage of me.
Thank you very much. You deserve to have somebody who loves you with all their heart and soul and treats you with respect, that you don't have to be afraid is going to be disrespectful to you. You're going through transition, but you know who you are as a human being. Be that person.
Yeah,
Would you
he's
like
good
me to
and
serve
crazy.
these
He's
papers?
good and crazy. That's
I beg
what
your
he
pardon?
is. He's good and crazy.
Would you like me to serve these papers? This on you. I have them in my hand.
I like you too.
You ain't in this marriage.
Girl, shut up.
I would like for us to try to work it out. I love her.
Give this back to Mr. Urban.
And that's why we moving to Texas away from everyone.
So you can continue to lie and be a con artist in another state.
We won't even know you, girl.
Mr. Urban, I usually say, go with God when you make a decision. But this time, you know what I'm gonna say? I'll see you in a minute, because you'll be back. You about to get took.
I don't know what you thought that was about. We moving to Texas. You ain't getting no divorce.
You know, cool with me. I'm sorry.
You crazy for that.
In the dictionary is the word con artist, and under it is her picture. I mean, the fact that he could not look the judge in the face to answer direct questions because it looked as if he was afraid that something would happen. I wonder if we were literally looking at an abused man. I actually think it's time for us to do a little more intervention on this one.
Made in Georgia.